So my name is Adria Estribou, and Angels Ariel and Raphael will introduce themselves as they arrive here with our update for March 18th, 2023. This is Angel Ariel. So we speak mostly about change today. So for those of you who have been decades-long seekers of energy, truth, enlightening thinking, that kind of thing, you may have felt that so many significant astrological events or time codes came and went, and where is it? Where is all of this newness? But remember that with great change comes change. And here we're speaking about the physical, the energetic, because many of you are feeling this right now. In the physical sphere, this heavy, 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 almost I can't take myself from one room to another. And that does come from solar activity and other elements of change here, which are part of the picture. So from angelic perspective, these are neutral. They're not attack force energies, or they're not dark energies. So it's not something you need to defend against or clear in that sense. But the physical still feels heavy right now. Feels like there's a large adjustment to be made, and that really is all there is. So, at some stages when children are growing, they sleep quite a lot, and you don't think, well, I better send this one back, or something so terribly wrong, right? So there can be times of growth associating with an inward pull, a need to rest, recharge, but mostly we'd say to honor that the energetic systems are just low right now. So not expecting yourself to burn as brightly, particularly with respect to physical activity, and that to some extent includes mental activity, but getting things done, being busy, walking long distances, um, carrying on with the so many activities of life at a typical pace is going to feel a bit overdone right now. Not necessarily emotionally difficult or draining in any other sense than what we would call physical, although it is in the energetic body here primarily. So it's not a virus, it's not something in the health of the physical self, organ shutdown or anything like that. It's just the energy bodies here responding to quite a lot. So if you can give yourself the grace to, let's say you still need to show up for the certain number of hours of work, the grace that, well, maybe I won't be as productive then, or as inspired, perhaps. So maybe it'll feel just a little bit like getting through, getting by, instead of creating and imagining and inventing, right? As some days tend to feel. So not thinking this is, oh no, an alert that something has gone offline, and you just notice next 10, 12 days especially, you might feel drawn to do something cozy, less active, less physical activity. So trust yourself in this. And then you may have bursts where you want to go on those long walks and talk with friends and so on. Trust yourself in this, that there's not something wrong. This is an ebb time. We've been calling it an ebb time for humankind here because the life force just feels so very low, and it is. So when you know that your resources are low, you don't want to stretch yourself as far as you typically would, just to avoid getting unnecessarily sick or emotionally stretching yourself too thin here as well. So taking on large stresses right now might be difficult. So primarily physical, but you may feel it in the other things that would come online when and if you're tired, right? Such as feeling crabby or feeling short-tempered or feeling less lustrous about life. And remember that if you missed a night's sleep, you would feel those things and not take it too seriously. You'd know, oh yeah, didn't get a sleep, so of course I'm feeling crappy. So if you can take this time less seriously like that, oh yeah, okay, it's just something as a bit of a burden on the energetic self right now. Nothing's gone horribly wrong. This is, again, these decades you've been waiting for change. Well, change is here, and it does require something of you in a physical sense. This is Adria. The angels are like, tell them what that noise is. That was my cat scratching the back of my chair. It doesn't usually happen during a broadcast, but there you have it. If you heard that mysterious, I think he was playing with a box a minute ago too. It's a bit noisy today. And this is Raphael. So good, good. Mostly we want to reassure you that this is not something, not a sign that you've lost the luster around life, your feelings about life, and not a sign that you need to go, everyone check your anemia and thyroid. It may be for a few of you that's the case, but generally speaking here, even if you asked around, even people who are not followers of meditation, angels and these kinds of things, you find they might express that they've been feeling a little tired, dragging around a little last week or less than a week. So this is collective and global at this time, and it's we like to let you know about seasonal weather like this on this monthly episode, so that you know what's going on, you have a wider view. Very, very easy if something happens just to one person and you don't have many in your life to reflect back, is this happening to you too, to think it's just about you and your story, or if you don't share these kinds of things with others, even if you're around others a lot. So just to clue you in, this is a little bit of weather. It will lighten quite soon here, 10-12 days. So meanwhile, restorative practice, salt baths, meditation, sleep, quiet, cozy activities, right? If you learn to knit and you like to do that, those kinds of things where you're not necessarily asleep, but you're just there in the pace of life in a bit softer way. Good. This is Angel Raphael. So, in addition to those of you who received the transmission last week with our angelic light, restorative light, we'd like to add a new practice here. So in this time that you have a resource to pull from some energies, or at least a sense of the deep still. So this is Raphael. This is an exercise in perception more than it is a meditation. So we want you to notice yourself right where you are in your room or outdoors. Notice the room you're in or your surroundings, please. You can look around if you like, or you can listen, or just even feel around the walls in whatever way you want to. Perhaps notice the place that you're in a slightly deeper way. Typically, you're focused on a person or an activity, and not the room, the shell itself that holds you. So in the same way, you have an energetic shell that holds you, surrounds you. So go right there to the barrier point of when the energy of you stops and the rest of what you might call the world begins. Just perceiving, just noticing, perhaps in a new way, how big you are today. And that this layer is a bit thin right now. So you might be used to perceiving more light or differentiation here between you and the world. It's a bit thin right now, in contrast. So how you're going to know when this time is done, a low ebb of energy is done, is you'll start to see this barrier between you and the world, or the distinction place between your energetic room and the rest of the world, that like what the wall is to a room. You'll start to see that brighter. You'll start to see that distinction come through a little more. And if you're more of a tactile person, feeling person, it will feel as if there's more energy particles filling that space of you. If you're someone who is more visual, it may look brighter. So keep a little watch on it here in the next few days. And so if it's a bit, it's at its low point now, you have a reference point as it grows brighter, then you can also feel like, oh, okay, I can probably go back to my normal activities without feeling overextended. You're not going to break yourself if you continue with normal activity. Just it opens up the opportunity for overtired, perhaps sick, oversick, overtired, overstressed. So it's good to be resilient when you can, right? When you have a little heads up, oh, it's going to be a little dim here and you're energetic. So that is primarily what we want to communicate today, to keep a little watch on yourself and be kind, be nourishing towards yourself, whatever that means for you. A little more at rest than at play or work. You can be playful in your rest. But perhaps you don't need to drive 200 miles or run that marathon just today. Maybe not. Maybe scale it back 20% if you can, when you can. And when you can't, then you know for you what tools work to keep yourself vibrant. Is it extra rest? Is it extra vitamin C? Is it having friends around? Is it having lack of friends around? Depending on what restores you, certain types of meditation or music. And I'll have those more on hand in the next 10, 12 days so that you don't need to get into any trouble with yourself that you have to repair from later. This is preventative medicine. Good. We'll keep it brief today because our energies of our channel, Adria here, are also dim, so we don't want to short circuit that bright light. Oh, sweet. This is Adria. Yeah, so thank you for being here to share in the angel weather update. And please take great care of your beautiful selves and get a little cozy rest, or expect less of yourself and maybe others, your other loved ones and friends and work colleagues, they're in the same weather, so they don't seem quite up to par. Maybe that's why. Beautiful. Okay, so we're very short today, but we'll honor that and see you next week if you're in with the angel transmissions. And we'll have a play shop coming up in a couple weeks, and you can see all of that on the website. Lots of love to you.